AJ Lee was smart enough last night to know, hey, there's a generation of fans that actually didn't see me wrestle. I like the way that she went in there and said, I was your millennial parents' favorite wrestler, and talked about how, she's your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. Like, talking about what she's done and what she's accomplished outside, how that she wasn't in a great mental place, and with the help of therapy, that, a PSA of like, hey, love yourself, and if you need help, seek out that help. Like, I can't, she said a lot in that promo last night, and so much great, and then furthering the story with Becky Lynch. And how do I know it worked? The pop AJ Lee got when she came out, to further your point from yesterday, Bully, where, all right, we knew she was going to get a pop in Chicago. Can she get that pop outside of Chicago? She did in Wisconsin last night. But it's even more about the reaction to Becky Lynch. I was talking to one of our hosts, Jonathan Hood, on the phone last night. He was in Chicago for Monday Night Raw last week. He said the boos for Becky Lynch were deafening, where you could not even hear what Becky Lynch was saying on the microphone. I think the boos were just as loud last night in Wisconsin. And you gave a lot of credit to Becky Lynch. I have to give a lot of credit back to Becky Lynch for what she did last night. I'm into this story. I'm into AJ's return, and I'm into AJ and Punk and Seth and Becky, and now we know we officially have a match at WrestlePalooza on the 20th. Your thoughts from what you saw last night in the promo from AJ Lee?
The promo. When I'm teaching younger students about the art of the promo, when I'm speaking to talent who may not understand the art of the promo, I teach them about the bullet points. Now, you've heard me mention the bullet points before on this show, Dave. Do you know what the major bullet points of a promo are?
What, where, when, why?
The who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and the how. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. If you hit all of those points and tell a story around them, you will have a successful promo. Out of the who, what, when, where, why, and how, which do you think is the most important?
The why?
No, the who. Because the who is you. And what did AJ Lee do last night? She told us who she was. Your millennial parents remember me, thus I don't have to reintroduce myself. But for those of you who don't, my name is AJ Lee. Boom! There's your who. It sounds so simple, yet it's so important. I need to know who you are. I need to know why you're here. I need to know where you've been. Get it? And AJ Lee told us last night who she was, where she's been, why she's come back. All of the bullet points were hit. She said that she had to take some time away to work on her mental health, which now people can relate to. She got cheers when she talked about her mental health and that she had to take time away to work on herself, and she went to therapy. Like, chance for therapy. You say that 20 years ago, people are like, what's wrong with you? Say it now? Good for you, girl. You went and you got help for yourself. If I did not know anything about AJ Lee before that promo started last night, I knew everything I needed to know after it was done. Awesome. The who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and the how.
And you know what?
Let's take a look at the little aspect. Now we get the where. Well, where is going to be at WrestlePalooza? The why. Why? Because you put your hands on my husband. Every point addressed. If Dusty was here, he would be so happy because she sold tickets last night. And that's what you want to do. When I teach my students, or when I've talked to wrestlers, I said, I don't care what the who, the what, the when, the where. Those bullet points, come up with. Who? Dave LaGreca. What? A match with Bully Ray. Where? Madison Square Garden. Why? Because they don't like each other. How? With the Dave driver. That's how you're going to beat me. Like, you come up and then you tell a story around those bullet points. And by the time you're done telling that story, cutting that promo, there's only one thing you want a fan to do. Put their hand in their pocket and take out their money. To buy a ticket to the show, to buy the pay-per-view, to buy merchandise, to buy whatever you're selling, because that's the business of the business. And AJ Lee got it done last night.
She checked every box, and you know what she also was able to do, Bully, is put over the Intercontinental Women's Championship in the process. What are they wrestling for? You know, it's a tag match, but she also put over that championship title. Now, the match that we're seeing at WrestlePalooza is not for the championship, but she gave that championship shine last night. She had it around her waist. Becky Cohen, that's my championship. I earned that. You didn't earn it. So that championship title, Bully, is going to be waiting in the wings at some point. There's going to be a championship, an Intercontinental Championship at some point between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. She was able to do that in the promo too. Like, she checked every single box in that promo. And Bully, it sounds so simple, but it's also humbling to be like, hey, I'm here. I'm getting this huge pop. Everybody's excited. But there's probably a lot of people who watched that segment on SmackDown and said, who's that? And pointed to their TV. So I am going to reintroduce myself, like you said, to introduce myself to fans that have never seen me before. That's humbling to do. And she did it right off the bat. That was maybe one of the best promos that I've seen on Monday Night Raw in quite some time. And I'm being completely honest and serious about it. She did not need to cut that promo last night. Everybody's excited about her being back. But the fact that she did, I just thought it was unbelievable.
The front end of that promo told me everything I needed to know about her. And then here comes Becky Lynch. And now let's pick up the story. And here's what I loved about Becky. She's really doing a great job. She really doing a great job. And years ago, we were like, ugh, what is this girl doing? It's not working. I don't understand what she's saying. She's trying to be somebody she's not. And we were brutally honest about Becky, just like we are about everybody else. And we were when she turned heel this time, if you go back and you listen to our show, we're like, not quite sure how she's going to pull this off, because she tried to do it once and it fell flat on its face. She obviously learned from those mistakes. Now she's doing a incredible job of owning this new role. And she's doing such an incredible job of being, insert word here, whatever, of a heel, that she's starting to annoy her own husband. She's starting to become a thorn in Seth's side, and it's almost happening immediately. You can see him at the beginning of the show when they're coming to when they walk into the arena. She's bitching and moaning and complaining. Seth's like, "All right, calm down, calm down." Even when she's going crazy in the arena, Seth's like, "Okay, I'll handle this. Stop yelling, stop screaming. Hold on to my belt." Like, she's even becoming a nuisance to Seth. And that's a layer that I can't wait to see play out when he tells her, "Would you shut up already?" This is going to get good because the characters are over, all four of them, and they all have depth. And it's real life husband and wife versus husband and wife. If this, I would be shocked if this failed.
It's not going to because of the players involved. But also you talk about the layer of the story about look at Becky Lynch's expression when Seth accepted the match. Like Becky's like, "What are you doing? Like what do you and that's going to cause like why are you making these decisions without talking to me first?" Like they are going to play along with this. It's going to get good. And I mean it's already great, but I'm saying this is going to be like you said, there's no way with the players involved that this story is going to fail.
When Becky was really bitching and moaning and Seth was trying to calm her down, I remembered that couple from the movie Blow. Remember Blow about the cocaine lords?
And Penelope Cruz and Johnny Depp.
Remember when Penelope Cruz was just becoming unbearable and constantly yelling at Johnny Depp and he just couldn't take it anymore? Like, that's what I saw. I saw the seeds being planted with Becky and with Seth. Like, she's going to become unbearable. And I hope they go down that road.
Or it might go the other way where that Punk and AJ are so into Seth's head that he starts making decisions based on emotion and not really thinking it out, which he did last night.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Listen, when there's holes, I point them out. When there's constructive criticisms, I point them out. There ain't nothing to criticize last night. That was a great segment from beginning to end. And what in wrestling, we talk about, JR would always say, that's a good little piece of business. Good little piece of business means home run. We're about to print some money. That was a good little piece of business last night between the four of them.
And I think the match at WrestlePalooza, Bully, is only going to scratch the surface. But it's going to end up with a match between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for that Women's Intercontinental Championship. And we talk about championship titles and the meaning behind titles. And we talked about some of the championships right now, especially in the WWE, that doesn't mean anything. How important is that Intercontinental Championship going to mean because of the players involved in AJ Lee and Becky Lynch? And listen, Seth is getting booed and Becky Lynch is getting booed.
It's about the emotion that the characters are conveying. Right now, we hate Becky Lynch. Right now, we love AJ Lee. That Intercontinental Championship means everything to Becky. Thus, we want to see AJ put it around, win it and take it from her. I probably would have suggested AJ not putting the championship around her waist. I would have had it on her shoulder, and I would have had her tell Becky, the only reason I'm wearing it around, have it on my shoulder, is because I'm waiting until the day comes that I beat you for it and then wear it around my waist.
Yeah, I like that but I will say this, and we see this a lot.
That's a tiny, tiny, tiny thing.
But the one thing I loved was the usage of that Intercontinental Championship title, because you usually don't get that from the WWE, especially for a secondary title. And the Intercontinental Championship is a secondary title. But right now, it means more than 90% of the championship titles in the WWE because of who's holding it and the story around it. And if we see AJ Lee winning that Intercontinental Championship, how big is that moment going to be?
Huge.
It's going to be huge.
Huge.
So think about that title right now and say, and I'm using a title that's usually on the same level, the United States Women's Championship right now held by Julia. You almost forget that Julia, has a championship title and that it's the United States Championship. Think about how much more this championship means because it's held by Becky Lynch. And a lot of it has to do with a star of Becky Lynch's caliber holding this kind of championship. We talked about it before about when John Cena had that United States Championship and he had those U.S. Open challenges. Here's John Cena, the biggest star in the WWE, and he's holding the United States Championship. You could say Becky Lynch is the biggest women's wrestler in the WWE, and she's holding that Intercontinental Championship. And one of the biggest storyline, if not the biggest storyline right now, is revolved around the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I actually am more invested in the Intercontinental Championship held by Becky than I am the World Heavyweight Championship held by Seth.
That's profound. Yeah, right now, absolutely. I can definitely see why you would have that opinion. Sure.
And I think the moment of AJ winning that Intercontinental Championship is going to be much bigger than CM Punk winning the World Heavyweight Championship from Seth Rollins.
Okay. We'll see.
And that's saying something because in front of 60,000 people, the guy got screwed at SummerSlam.
Listen, think of all of the comeback stories that we have heard so far. Edge comes back from the neck, right? And he's able to wrestle again. Who else? Give me some names.
Bryan Danielson, Saraya. Those are two good ones from
Great. These are people that came back from physical injuries, correct?
Yes.
How many times have we had somebody come back from mental health issues?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
So it's new. It's new. Now, can you imagine if the WWE had the nuts for Becky or Seth to start poking and prodding AJ about her mental health issues? Mental health is a big thing these days, as we see that's playing out with Bayley. Mental health is a big thing these days. If you go there and you just press or button it to, people are going to despise Becky and Seth for doing that because it's not nice to make fun of people's mental health issues anymore.
Not at all. I mean, I don't know if that's a road the WWE would want to go down because that's strong. But, I mean...
I said poke at it just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Let me ask you this, Bully. In regards to Punk and AJ Lee, it's pretty amazing for a company that fired, CM Punk on their wedding day and how much animosity and hatred had to be between Punk and AJ and the WWE that they're in this position right now. I know we've talked about like where you burn a bridge and you never think you're going to be able to come back from it. That we have CM Punk and AJ Lee together. Like, what would have happened if things worked out with AEW and Punk? We probably never would have seen the return of AJ Lee. Like, when you really analyze it and think about it, it's crazy how this whole thing has worked out.
I'm not a big cliche guy. I hate it when people use cliche answers. But the old school never say never applies, okay? But I think the one that really applies to this situation is time heals all wounds. Eventually, time does what time does. It makes you not necessarily forget about the wound, but it scabs the wound over enough that it no longer hurts. It's still there, and I'm sure in the back of AJ Lee's mind and Punk's mind, they'll never forget that on their wedding day, Vince decided to fire them. And I believe that on Austin's podcast, didn't Vince apologize for that?
Yeah, I think there was a couple. AJ, and it was, if you remember, AJ continued to stay. It was Punk who got fired, but AJ continued to stay, and that must have been a rough period for AJ.
Sure.
I'm sure that's a big reason, like mentally, to be at a place that your husband is having all these issues with.
What people don't understand about the wrestling business is this. It's very easy to sit back and be a fan and, say what people say, make the assumptions, think they know, think they understand. This profession is grueling. It is the most grueling thing I think I know on the planet. Between the physical grueling of the travel, the schedule, the wrestling, the grueling on the mental of what you deal with and what you go through, it is not easy. This business will take its toll on you. And unless you're broken in the right way from day one, I trained my students from day one, especially my girls. You speak to any of my girls, any of my women, they will tell you, Bubba toughened us up from day one because I wanted them to be mental and physical warriors that nobody would ever be able to screw with. Why? Because I know how this business is. So what I would prepare, I always prepared my students for the inevitability of one day standing in front of Vince McMahon and him looking down the barrel of his glasses and asking you that question. Will you freeze or will you act in a moment, snap of the fingers? Will you have that answer? This business will take its toll on you. It is rough. If you ever get into deep conversation, like we have Natty, get into deep conversations with Natty. See what I don't know what you'll get out of her. I know what I'll get out of her. Talk to Charlotte. Talk to some of the people that have really been through the ringer of this business and how truly mentally tough you have to be. It's brutal, man. Think about what you just said. Think about what you just said. Wedding day. My husband gets fired. I have to show up to work next week.
How it's almost impossible. It's an impossible situation. The most hated man in the eyes of the WWE is your husband. And you have to work under those conditions.
Walk those hallways. Go sit in catering. Have to go through stuff with your agents and producers. Have to look at your boss. All you want to do is crawl up into a ball and hide because you know you can't go home. Or if you do go home, there goes that income. Where do you have to go mentally in order to deal with that? Have I had a situation exactly like AJ Lee's? Absolutely not. Have I had my situations that have mentally taken their toll on me? Sure. But when you think about that, holy shit.
That is tough. But here we
I don't
are
give a damn who's right and who's wrong. That doesn't matter. The fact is, my husband just got fired. I have to show up for work. It's very difficult. That's it.